Alright, well, this is nothing extremely important, but I would just like to get a couple of things off my chest regarding the NBA. Since the off season started, ever since the finals between the Heat and the Thunder, I have heard just countless bashing of Russell Westbrook. And so many people talking about how many other point guards are better than him, and oh, how much of a chucker he is, ah ha ha, Russell Westbrook. All of that stupid, uneducated bullshit. But here's what people don't seem to understand. To effectively run the point guard position, it honestly doesn't matter how many assists that you have. That's not to say that you shouldn't pass the ball, which he's actually a very underrated passer. But you can't effectively set up your teammates without being a legitimate scoring threat yourself, which is actually why Jason Kidd has fallen off this past year, because he stopped being able to score the basketball all of a sudden. That's why Nash has been successful for the entire career, and that's why Westbrook has been more successful than Derrick Rose. I know that's immediately going to probably get me more flames than I'm even going to know what to do with. But you can make a negative comment all you want if you at least decide to hear out what I'm going to say. The job of a point guard is to make everyone else on the floor more threatening, to facilitate the offense and make sure everything is running within a rhythm. To do that, you have to have some degree of scoring ability yourself. If you don't, people can just pressure you and cramp the passing lanes, and then the next thing you know, you're going the other way. Another thing that I've actually seen a lot of, and it kind of ties into my point here, is people have been recently bashing Josh Smith because, oh, he takes threes, and I don't like my big men to take threes. Well, first of all, he's out of position to begin with. He's actually a small forward. And second of all, even if he were a power forward, the entire point of improving as a basketball player is not to just improve in the things that you already excel in. The improvement comes from taking the worst aspects of your game and rounding them out. If people were ranting, oh, hey, you shouldn't be taking this shot when someone was in high school or when someone first came into the NBA, let's go back to Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd started his career out as a very bad three-point shooter. If he would have listened to all the people who said, oh, you shouldn't take threes because you're not any good at them, I can guarantee you he would probably be out of the NBA by now. Probably around 34, he probably would have been out of the NBA. It was because he extended his range and learned a three-point shot that he's still around. And the same can be said of Josh Smith. The older he gets, the less explosiveness he's naturally going to have. And if anything, the attempt to learn a three-point shot, only aids him in the future. And a lot of people argue, well, that should be done in practice. In reality, it shouldn't, because there's only so much that you can do in practice. And it really comes back to what you can do on the court. So during the regular season, at least, it's a little different in the playoffs, but during the regular season and the preseason, at least, you should be trying to expand your game and try new things. And the more you stay at it, the more you'll improve. And that's how these players got to the NBA in the first place. And telling them anything different is just outright wrong because, well, who are you to say that when you're not one of the top 500 basketball players in the world? They got there for a reason. But anyways, back to Russell Westbrook. Everybody's saying that he shouldn't score as if that's not something he excels at, or saying that because Kevin Durant is so good at it, he shouldn't do it at all. Well, I can tell you with 100% certainty, Russell Westbrook scoring as much as he does is what allows Kevin Durant to be the leading scorer in the league. If you traded Russell Westbrook for Rajon Rondo right now, who is a pretty much 100% passive deferring guard. And actually that's really his biggest flaw. His three-point shooting and scoring ability are questionable at best. But you put Rondo on that team, and suddenly people are sagging off of Rondo and helping out on Durant and Harden, and they can't get open shots. So although he might be a great creator and they might be able to get the ball inside to, say, Ibaka or Perkins more, Westbrook and Harden, Durant and Harden are going to have trouble getting open shots. On the flip side, the Celtics would immediately become one of the top 3 teams in the league if Russell Westbrook was there, because Garnett, Pierce, Terry, and the rest of them would have no problems getting open shots, and they would have a legitimate number 1 scoring option. Honestly, in a scenario like that, I believe Russell Westbrook would easily be an MVP. And my final point on the matter is that you switch the situations and put Derrick Rose on the Thunder and Westbrook on the Bulls, he would have so many options to pass the ball to and so many people that would be consistently open. He would probably average 20-10 type of numbers between points and assists. And, well, he would be a much more deserving MVP than Derrick Rose ever was. You put Derrick Rose where he is a second scoring option and being forced to defer to Kevin Durant, and both Durant and Rose suddenly become much worse players. That's about it for that. Have a nice day.